Welcome everyone to this second breakout session. First of all, congratulations to all of you for becoming certified this year. You can be very proud of yourself and the organization you work for a better world of work. My name is Jonas van Mees and I'm very thrilled and excited to moderate this session today about attracting and retaining diverse talents. During this interactive Q&A session, 3 HR leaders will share their experiences, their views on how they see within their organizations how they can foster an inclusive environment and make sure that diverse talents will be retained for their organization as well. You have the opportunity as the audience to fire your questions later on to the panelists on how to support D&I strategies within your organization and foster that inclusive culture of sense of belonging. Actually, those questions you can send already in the chat right now. But before we do that, let me just explain why this topic is so important. Well, if you look at several studies, including McKinsey and Harvard Business Review, it shows that if you have a diverse teams and an inclusive culture, then it's very likely you exceed your financial goals twice, perform 3 times better, are 6 times more innovative and agile, and 8 times more likely to reach better business results. So that shows that you can really take steps towards a more inclusive culture. I will shortly introduce to you now the 3 panelists of today. I will ask each of them one question, and then it's up to you, the audience, to fire your questions to the 3 panelists. So let me start with the first one. And that's Régis Blugeon. He is working for the Gobain group. Régis, welcome. Hi. Could you maybe introduce yourself, like how you would like to be introduced to the audience?
Yeah, with pleasure. My pleasure to be with you. Hi, everyone. I'm Régis Blugeon. I'm in charge of human resources at the group level, so, within Gobain, taking care of people, working of motivations, development, career paths. So for me, human resources is a passion.
Cool. Thank you, Régis. I appreciate you taking the time and being with us today. I have one burning question for you. Looking at the Gobain's purpose, make the world a better home. How is that helping to attract diverse talents?
Being, top employer, is something not so easy, but staying is quite demanding. Is why, following our last global top employer certifications, we feel that something was missing, in our employer brand. Some things, to help us, to share our visions, to share our value, who we are, what we pretend to do. And explaining that, to all the newcomers, the applicants, the candidates, pretend to join the Gobain group. So last year, we decided, to launch a new initiative called Purpose. And the idea of this initiative was to work in a very collaborative way, embarking thousands of employees, from everywhere, around the planet, at each level of the organizations, to set up, this purpose. So we asked, with the support of the BCG, to all these employees, to send us, word making sense with the group, making sense with our DNA, and they send words, lot of word, and we choose the more popular word the people send to us, and with this word we make a short sentence. So we select few numbers of words, but lot of sense. And at the end of the day, we had this sentence, making the world a better home. Making, why making? Making because we are fully industrial oriented. We are very customer oriented. We are a retail company. So making for us is something, giving sense. And a better world. And your home. Why? Because we are very sustainable oriented. Environment is something in the heart of the company. So with this sentence, we can describe who we are, what we pretend to do, which kind of energy we would like to share, and which kind of add value we are waiting for newcomers. And this is the concept. And doing that, we enrich, we give consistency to our employer brand, and we are more stronger to attract talent.
Right. I think that's a super clear answer, Régis, and I think your purpose is so identifiable for talents who want to join the company, so they can identify with that, and I think it will contribute to the employee experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me go to the second panelist, and that's Nectaria, Erini, Caramani. And before preparing this session with her, she said I can call her Erini, so I will. Erini joined Siemens in 2000 and has never left. She had various roles in engineering, quality management, and human resources. And since 2014, she had the role of HR country head for Siemens Greece. And since October 2020, the role of country HR head for Siemens Italy. Her personal goal is to have a meaningful impact to other people's lives and co-create together with others a more sustainable society. Welcome, Erini, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jonas.
I have also one question for you. Have you at Siemens defined concrete targets related to diversity and inclusion?
Yes, we do. We have certain global gender targets to meet by 2022, and we have also the disability targets as defined by the Italian legislation. However, Jonas, I really need to highlight that there is a catch on this. These targets serve to us as a quality check for our progress. It is not, and they should not be our driving force. Our driving force is to create an authentic, inclusive culture, to foster an open mindset that will help everybody to bring at the office not their best self, their real self. This is important to us. And for that reason, we are doing a lot of initiative in order to create awareness of the topic, and also we are educating our people, and especially our managers, on diversity and inclusion topic and all the parameters, unconscious biases, stereotypes, different personality types, the importance of having different perspectives on any kind of decision-making process, innovation process, or problem solving. And our current complex reality is giving us a lot of difficult problems to solve. Also, it is very much important that we have identified the ability to build inclusive teams as a very much important as our principal leadership capability. And we do evaluate this capability for our future and current leaders, of course. So, Jonas, yes, we do have targets, and yes, we care to meet these targets. However, we would like this to come as a natural outcome of an authentic, inclusive culture. This is what matters for us.
Thanks, Erini. I think that's key. I totally agree with you. It's not only a numbers game, checking the box, but making sure that everyone feels part of the company, feels included, feels seen. So it's great that you at Siemens not only look at the targets, but also how people work together and how they feel like they belong to the company. Thanks so much for that. Last but not least, we have Nozza from Accenture. And she is the HR lead for Italy, Central Eastern Europe, and Greece. And she's strongly passionate about organizational development, culture strategy, and leadership. And together with her team of experts, she's working to build a talent strategy based on the empowerment of each individual and skill, fostering an inclusive, diverse, dynamic, and challenging workplace. Hi, Anna. How are you today?
Thank you very much for inviting me to be here today with you. You know that inclusion and diversity, it's a priority for us. It's a business priority, but it's also a personal passion for me. So really happy to be here today to discuss this topic.
Great to hear, Anna. Pleasure's mine. I've also one last question for you before we go to the audience. Can you describe Accenture's vision for equality and diversity and inclusion for me?
Yes, sure. Let me say that in Accenture, we have a very strong commitment to diversity and to culture of equality, with the aim that every one of our people has a full sense of belonging within our organization. Our inclusion and diversity agenda, it's really comprehensive with different areas of focus. So we work on gender, we work on ethnicity, LGBT, person with disability, religion, cross-cultural, mental health, and we want to have an inclusive leadership. So this is our main areas of focus. And let me say that our rich diversity is enabling us to bring innovation to our clients and to our community, creating a culture and an environment where everyone has the equal opportunity to grow. We have a specific roadmap to getting to equal. That it's a roadmap that has three main components. The first one is bold leadership, because we strongly believe that leadership commitment from the top is one of the key success factors. So also as we have really clear goals, we set targets, and we make our leaders accountable, responsible for achieving these targets, as they are for the other business priorities. Second element, second component of our agenda is a comprehensive action. As I was saying, we are working with programs, projects, policies that are dedicated to each of our key areas of diversity. And last but not least, our agenda is focused to achieve an empowering environment. We want to have an environment where our people come to work every day feeling free to be their self without be worried to demonstrate their real themselves.
Thank you so much, Anna. I think you described a very clear vision there, and also some hidden tips maybe for other organizations. I heard, for example, the support from leadership, which is, I think, key before even starting any inclusive talent strategies. Thank you so much. I think it's time now for the Q&A session, so let's dive into that. Yes, so our first question is, please share with us the most difficult barrier that you have found to create diversity within your company. Régis, do you have a take on that?
Yeah, of course. What's clearly difficult is to share, with our, management at each level of the organization in why, diversity is helping us to create add value. In what, diversity bring, energy, and is helping us, to develop new product, to develop the company, to be more, customer oriented. If you try, and if you arrive, to convince people, diversity is helping for that, to make the right and the appropriate decisions, on the customer needs, you will win this battle of diversity, of course.
Yeah, makes total sense to me, and I hope this is answering your question. Let's move on to the next question, and that's the following. What attraction techniques would you use to attract diverse talent if you don't have a diverse workforce at the moment? Erini, how's that going at Siemens?
As I said before, we do have our metrics to serve as a quality check for our progress. So, yes, we are progressing through the years. We are not yet there at the point that we want to be. So, you can imagine that if we talk especially about the gender diversity right now in a very much engineering company, it is a challenge. So what we are doing right now is that we are trying to promote female leaders and female successful profiles from our company outside. We also are very much active to participate in various female organizations. And we are participating in various think tanks in Italy, basically launched by Lombarda or other formal bodies about this topic. It is very much important, and it is also our responsibility as a big multinational company to
Sorry, Erini, I cannot hear you. I think there's some technical difficulties on your side. Maybe let's move on to the next question. All of you are sharing great efforts for diversity, but how do you make sure that inclusive environment, how do you foster that within the organization? Anna, you shared the vision of Accenture. Can you give some concrete details on how you make sure that inclusive environment is there at all times?
Yes, let me say that I think that the most important thing is investing a lot of training because we know there is a lot of unconscious bias, so it's important that we invest on this, and our aim is to create a culture where we ask to our people to focus in the everyday action, because what I always say to my team, to my employees is that it's normal that sometimes in your life you feel different. You may feel different due to your gender, to your background, to your ethnicity. And it is really important when you feel diverse that you have in front of you someone that try to include you, that understood the feeling that you may have, and try to be inclusive with you. And I think that we can achieve this investing a lot on training. So we have a fantastic program where we focus on this. They are called Think Inclusive. So the idea is really to focus on the fact that diversity and inclusion is to become something that we manage in everyday action that we put in place.
That sounds like a great training program. Is that for all employees, or is that only for a specific group within Accenture?
We have launched it especially for managers, so for people that manage other people, but we are enlarging now it to all our employees.
Cool. Sounds great, Anna. A question for you, Régis, maybe. Can you share a particular action or a program that you have taken related with gender equity?
Yeah, sure. One of the programs we set, is not a specific program, but this is a kind of action we develop within the group. This is leading by example, The idea here was to share testimony, asking to people, doing very nice things regarding inclusion and diversity, and to explain to all the company, to all the employees inside the group in what we are bringing add value or in what we are making nice decisions because we have this kind of diversity within the group. For sure, if we are all the same, we will make maybe right decisions, or we will make all in the same time, the wrong decisions. So diversity is helping us, to see all, the environment and to share that. And if we have this kind of testimony, and if we share this testimony through our internet side, we can, bring this kind of add value. So leading by example, testimony.
Right. And Régis, if you can give one piece of advice to a company who is not there yet, where Saint-Gobain is, what would it be to ensure that more talents are working at your company, but also to retain them?
To retain is not so easy, because right now we are in the battle of talent. You are all, fighting, to have talent, to have people, making the difference inside and facing our customer. So being honest, giving advice is not so easy, It depends on the sector you are going to act or not. Us, for example, in construction sectors where we have issue, it's about, data engineers, data scientists, We need to be more data oriented. And I think that data is a fuel, of the next revenues, for the group. So from my point of view, if we have, data that will help us, to make the difference with the support of diversity, of course.
Right. So data can be more leading in how to help attract and retain
yes.
your diverse talents for the company. Yeah.
Yeah. Data, AI, and also analytics.
Right. All right. Erini, you're back with us again. Can you name one single initiative that generated a step change for diversity in your company? Oh, I can't hear you again, and I don't think the audience as well.
I can't hear, so.
Let's pass this question to Anna for now. Anna, is there one single initiative within Accenture that generates that real change of diversity within your company?
Yes, let me say that especially in the last year, but I think that the need start even before the COVID situation, but one of the real areas of focus is the mental health. And on this, let me say that we launch really two important initiatives that for us has really represented a game changer on this topic. The first one is a project that has been called Job Stationer. It's a project that started some years ago in 2012. Is a project dedicated to people with mental illness. You know that mental illness is one of the major causes that don't allow people to work. And so this project is aimed at allowing people with mental illness to work. We have launched this project with the ecosystem, so with external association. We have created some centers hosted by the association with people with mental illness could work, let me say, in a protected environment. They are supported by tutors that help them to manage with the task that companies ask to them. And if and when the tutors that are psychologists, so people expert in managing with mental illness, think that they are ready, we can include them within our organization. Second project that we launch, and also this, I think it has been really a game changer, has been what we call the Employee Assistance Program. We provide our employees with the possibility to start a program where they can be supported by specialists.
Right, and especially during COVID, I can imagine that there's much more need for those employee assistance programs.
Yes.
Great. Looking at the time, I think we have time for one last question. What would you recommend as the top 3 principles to follow when attracting and retaining diverse talent? Régis, can you give maybe one from your side or 2?
Oh, one, if I have to answer, this is purpose. If you have purpose, if you have some things, to give to you, compass, within your group, and to show outside what are your value, what are your DNA, you will, bring, and you will attract talent for sure, because all of us, we have argument, etc., etc. What we need is to confess the truth. What we have to do is to explain what we are deeply. And if we have this kind of purpose, we can do that and we can, attract, people, which help us, to develop the company. So purpose.
That's a very straight answer, purpose. All right. Erini, could you share maybe 1 or 2 from your side? Okay, the sound is still not working, unfortunately. Anna, as a closing, could you maybe share your top 1? As a principle for attracting diverse and retain your talents?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I think that the first principle is really communicate in a very clear way that diversity is one of our priority. So I think that people could be attracted by our company on this and they feel included starting from day one. So I think that the communication, it's communicate in a very clear way our priorities. It's an important point for attracting diverse talents.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anna. I heard purpose, I heard communication. I think this is a good time to end this session. We could have discussed much longer, but unfortunately the time is up. I thank Régis, I thank Erini, I thank Anna for their contribution, and you, the audience, for your amazing questions. For now, take care of yourself and take care of each other, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot.